Right. Hey, lady.
Hey,
Hey,
Hey, Maddie.
hi
Maddie.
Maddie.
Oh, wow. It's so good to see everybody. And we are back, y'all. Episode 6. Isn't time flying? I'm telling you.
Yes.
Yes, it is super flying. So, our topic for today is beauty hair talk. So, we're talking about hair today. And this is a very meatful topic, Shauna, as we say for our Meatful Mondays. And
Yes.
yeah, I just want to kick this off and just say, yes, thank you for being willing to have this discussion. I mean, I love hair talk. I mean, we all have done various hair journeys, and even Maddie included. I mean, she has done her share of hair journeys. So definitely like to have Shauna kick this off and start our discussion.
So let me just start by saying I love everything about hair. I love everything about hair. I love different hairstyles, hair textures, hair coloring. You name it. I've always been a young person that was really into the differences between hairs, and I just think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like when you speak about hair talk, I feel like hair talk is so intimate and so
Mhm.
private to
Mhm.
yourself,
Right.
because it's first it's a talk within yourself, and it's a way of expressing yourself. It's an outer appearance of expressing your inner beauty.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
feel that it ties in with your inner beauty. It ties in with what's going on with you on the insides. Not only the way you style your hair, the way you wear it, the coloring, all of those things just bring out who you are in the inside. So I feel like hair talk is it's an inner beauty, outer beauty
Mhm.
conversation within yourself.
Yeah, I love that a lot, Shauna. That's really great. I mean, I know for me, I've had my share of many, many hairstyles, different colors, long, short, otherwise, and it is interesting how we've all come into our hair journeys.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, it goes back many, many years. I will say that. And now having a daughter, my Maddie here, oh my goodness, she can talk about her hair journeys, which I'm inspired by her. I mean, I think I've shared with you ladies before. It is just she's been inspiring to me. So I just
Yes.
totally love this
Your
topic
mom
a
tells
lot.
us that all the time, Maddie.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. What about you, Jeanette?
For hair has it's for me. Every change is usually around like a big life change for me. Is when I can like marker certain things in my life by how my hair changes. Many styles. We're gonna get into some of this later on, but just like our parents' influence on how and what we did with our hair and what we could and couldn't do with it. Um, and then when you get to a certain age, just like doing whatever you want. With you, Linda, I have 3 daughters right now, and I have a 23-year-old daughter, two 23-year-old daughters, my stepdaughter too, and then my youngest girls are 7 and 5 right now, and they are all very different. They all have very different personalities,
Yeah.
and they have their own hair journeys, which is interesting. But yeah, it to me, hair is just hair. So I'm not gonna say it's just hair, but I'm of the try it. It'll grow back.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
That's kind of where I fall in it. But yeah, we'll get into like our own individual hair journeys and kind of how we landed to where we are right now and what like maybe the next stages might look like for us.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is a definite hot topic. Just from this myself, I remember, sitting at the stove with my mom and the
Ooh, yeah.
and the everybody
Blue
remember Dax
magic,
grease?
baby.
Ooh, Dax grease, man, that's like gonna tear your ears up. I remember I used to
Did you
remember
use the blue magic, Linda?
yes, the blue magic.
Yes.
Oh, and just being, I think I was like Maddie's age, and my mom would have the actual gas stove with the fire, and I could see the fire lighting up that hot
Crackling and
it
sizzling
was
off that
crackling.
hot
I was
cone.
like, and I was the worst at it. I was sitting there like, I think my sister was so much better than me because my sister, she would sit there and me,
Wow.
He was ready,
yeah, she
right?
was ready. I was just the chicken. But hair, my mom, just growing up, she set the tone for hair. You will get your hair done. We were at the hairdresser every 2 weeks, and I still
Wow.
call a hairdresser, and I kind of flip flop, between that and the salon. But we were at the hairdresser every 2 weeks. That was what we did.
Yeah.
And because I remember when, just going through the times we're in now, with quarantine and such, it's like, oh, how are we gonna get our hair done? People talked about that, but you make changes with different things, and that's how I think back to that time. It's like, wow. And I still do it today. So I think everybody's hair journey is different. It's
Yeah.
unique to, it speaks to your personality.
Yes.
Jeanette, I love what you said about life change. Hey, I'm going through some things. I got a new job, went through a divorce. I moved cities. I'm going to chop it off, or I'm going to add something to it.
And it's funny how like those routines kind of stick with us. So like, you said you and your sister were regular every 2 weeks getting your hair done. Where my mom was more of a do it yourself person. Like she would go every now and then to the salon, but it wasn't regular. So I've always never really cared to go to the salon. I just like, oh, I can figure it out. I can do it myself. Like I was of my girl cousins my age, like I was the first one braiding hair. I was the first one cornrows. Nice. Like, because that's just kind of how we grew up, and I'm still that way to this day. Even my oldest daughter is like that. She's not a salon person. But my best friend, her and her daughter, when I think she was probably younger than Maddie is now, and they was like clockwork.
Faithful salon folks.
How those routines still kind of carry over. Shauna, did you have any regular routines when you were younger?
My grandmother was our regular routine person.
Grandma doing your hair?
Yeah.
So, and it was my abuela, so it was my Hispanic grandmother. She took care of our hairs Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends when we used to go to my grandma Ledger's, then we would experience the cornrows. They would braid our hair, they would put the beads on there, and it was very hard for us because we were used to our hairs being styled a certain way. With my Hispanic grandmother, she would do what you call moños, which is like little round knots that you pin, and it just helped the hair kind of train the hair a little bit better. When I was in the second grade, I could sit on my hair, and it was a lot of volume to it. If you can imagine, it wasn't like your bone straight hair, but it was just like really like out kind of like hair. And it was very, 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 very thick. My hair was extremely thick. My sister's wasn't as thick as mine. Mine was really thick, and I loved my hair. I loved every style of it. We weren't really allowed to wear it out. In the house we would, but going outside of the house, it always had to kind of be tied up and in a neat little, way. Okay. So yeah, I really, really loved my hair, and my sister did too. So yeah, I think that was the beginning, of really figuring out my inner beauty, and someone else trying to show me what inner beauty was by exercising and washing, conditioning, detangling, and coming up with styles to make us feel good about ourselves.
Yeah, that's awesome, Shauna.
Maddie, how old were you when you started doing your hair on your own or trying to experiment? And did you ask your mom if you can do it yourself, or did you just kind of go for it?
Well,
yeah, Maddie is my, I would say she's my very outgoing, exploratory child. So, and it was interesting, having Miles first, because I had a boy for 7 years, didn't have to do anything. And I barely knew how to do hair because I always got it done. And I thank my mom for that, because she kept us on a schedule. Like, we weren't going nowhere with our hair looking busted.
Did you do the traditional 1-year-old boy haircut, or did you wait?
I think we actually, we did Miles's hair at 8 months, because Miles was, he's 6'6" now, and he has been always big boy from the beginning. We have this running joke in our family that he was basically born a 3-month-old, because he was so huge. When I left the hospital, he was 10 pounds, because I stayed in the hospital for a while. He was born 9/13. So having a boy for all those years, 8 months later, we cut his hair, right? So he had some makeshift hairdo. But definitely, going back to my mom, she kept us faithfully, going to the salon. She would do our hair. So then 7 years after Miles was born, here comes Maddie. And Maddie, she came
Hey,
up.
Maddie.
Hey, Maddie, she kicked the door down with, she started experimenting. I'm like, no, what are you doing? Don't do that. And I was crazy, wasn't I, Maddie?
Yeah.
Or I still am a little, but go ahead and talk about
taking her to the salon
journey.
with you. I was asking, did you take her to the salon early and start taking her?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, every 2 weeks I would go, but sometimes I liked it, but then I don't want to go. And now with quarantine, I don't have to go, and I don't plan on going back anymore.
Yes,
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, and we love Aisha is wonderful. I mean, she did Maddie's hair she's been doing Maddie's hair since she was 3, and I was sort of following what my mom did.
Exactly.
She got braids. I'm like, yep, nope, Maddie, you're gonna get your hair done. And sometimes she would like start playing in her hair.
Yeah, I would take it out.
She would take it out.
And my mom would be like, I just paid to get your hair.
Right, to get it done. Right.
I was trying to do, and I was only doing what I knew to do, right? Because I'm thinking, you will get your hair done. This is going to be this. But when she started doing her own hair, of course I was nervous. I'm like, she's doing a good job. I'm like, okay, she's not playing in it as much. And if you want to talk about sort of the next step as to why you wanted to do locks?
Well, I wanted to do it because it was going to be kind of less work, and I thought that I would have to go to the salon as much, and then eventually I could do it myself. But then a couple months later, or almost a year later, I didn't want them anymore, so I cut it, and now I have this hairstyle, and then it'll just go back, so I could just do it again.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. I loved when you locked it up. I was so impressed with you when your mom was like, Maddie's going to lock her hair up. I'm like, wow, did she make that decision all by herself?
Talk about how she asked you, Linda?
Yeah, so Maddie was she's always been my creative spirit. So she was kind of creeping around the house a little bit. And I saw this piece of paper in her hands.
It was on my door.
It was purple. I saw purple writing. I said, so this must be something. I think I can't remember if she brought it to me and I was sitting on the couch or something, or some other. So she brought it to me and I was sitting on the couch, and I don't know if she dropped it off and ran. Do you remember, Maddie?
I think I did.
Yeah, so I think she dropped it. And I read the letter. She wrote me a letter saying that she wanted to have locks, so she wanted to lock her hair. And I remember getting teared up, and she was so afraid to ask me of what because she saw kind of my regimen, my routine. I grew up with my hair done every week or every 2 weeks, and I go to the salon every week. And it was like, yep, this is what you're going to do. And I do love it because it is sort of an outlet for me. I also like wearing many different hairstyles, as you ladies know. And I just remember her being so afraid. And I think about other young girls or even women who are afraid to make those changes.
Yeah.
For her to be almost 10 years old and coming to me and having the strength enough to write this letter, it brought me to tears. And I'm like, of course you can lock your hair. And I got questions about that. Well, you let her cut all her hair off. You let her do this. I'm like, Maddie is a free spirit. I'm going to let her do what she wants. So,
and I think that's important and helping kids uncover their own identity and not putting our identity on our children.
Yes.
I know you mentioned, Maddie, about cutting your locks off when you were ready to go with them. I think it's almost like a rite of passage. All little girls, I didn't say all because my 7-year-old probably would never, because she's loves her hair. She's one of those my hair just needs to be long forever. But gone through that stage of cutting your own hair. So I know when I was little, my mom said I had this thing where I used to always say I wanted to be bald head and wear cool glasses. I have no idea. No one knows where they came from. That's just one memory that they always bring up is I want to be bald headed and wear cool glasses. And I wasn't a crier when I got my hair done. I wasn't one of those kids. But I remember I took my grandma's sewing scissors. Y'all know how big them metal
sewing scissors are they're grandma.
And I cut a piece of my hair off, and then my grandma caught me with the scissors holding my eyelashes, trying to cut my eyelashes off.
What?
I was that kid. I was into everything. I tried to cut my hair off. I drank fingernail polish remover. I drank typewriter flush.
Oh, wow.
She said, if it was something liquid, you was picking it up and it was to your mouth. And she was like, if I have to call the poison control.
Poison,
They don't
yes.
take you from it. They was
Oh
like,
my
she
goodness.
couldn't. They was like, she wouldn't have drunk enough for it to really affect her. Like, it would have burned her tongue, so she drank it. They was like, she's fine.
Wow.
But I know my oldest daughter, when she was about maybe 3 or 4, she had her hair in cornrows, and she took the scissors and snipped the front of her cornrow off. And my 5-year-old, not that long ago at school, cut a piece of her ponytail off. She had like one was to the side, and she cut probably about that much off the tip ends. And her teacher emailed me, was like, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Why did you cut your hair?" She's like, "My friend's mom cut her hair." And I was like, "Okay, well, we can't cut our own hair. Let's not do that again." But it's just, what, like, did y'all ever try that, or what was your experience with like your first haircut? Like, how was that for you?
So for me, growing up, we were restricted. We were not allowed to do our own hair. It was just the way it was. So they took full charge of managing our hairs, which I love the fact that Maddie does her own hair, paved her own way. And I can understand why you wrote the note, Maddie, because we're in such a time, we're in a time where certain things are just kind of like you do or you don't do, or you're not sure how your parents are going to feel about it, because what you were doing was trying to set the tone for your expression, your freedom of expression. And I love that your mom corresponded that with you, because we grew up where we were restricted. So we weren't allowed to bring a comb, a brush, or do anything, play in your hair. That was totally restricted. That was a no-go. That's not something that you do. And because of that, to this day, y'all won't believe this, but I don't know how to braid. I don't know how to braid. I don't know how to do hair. I was grateful to have a son, because I don't have that gift. I love hair, but I don't have the gift to really like do hair. So we were restricted on that. And I think at a certain point, my hair was becoming a challenge. Because it was thick and it was getting longer and it was growing. And so they've decided to cut my hair. And when my hair got cut, so I've never had the luxury of saying I like to cut my hair, or I like to. I think I was 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was 9. And again, I sat on my hair and I had these 2 long braids, and I wasn't given the warning that this was going to happen. So I was taken to a shop that we lived above, and they sat me in a chair, turned me around from the mirror, and he cut both of my braids off. And it was devastating. It was devastating. I understand why they felt the need, to do it. It was a lot of work. It was challenging. And I do understand why they didn't give me a heads up, even though it wasn't right. I do understand, because they knew I was your daughter, Jeanette. I was the one that's going to have long hair for the rest of her life, because I loved long hair. I just loved it. I loved everything about it, And so when that happened, that devastated me. It was traumatizing. I didn't talk for a while, for a few years. I had an afro. That was not my style. I like afros, but it just wasn't for me. And then I was a tomboy on top of that. So, and I didn't wear earrings. So it was a lot. I got made fun of quite a bit those years.
So that's my 7-year-old, Ryan. We took her to the salon for the first time to get her hair, like, professionally wise. She's 7. She was 7 when we took her in, and to get it blown out for the first time and straightened. And she was kind of hesitant, but she was okay. And then that lady showed her them scissors, because she was gonna clip her ends, but she was like, girls are not supposed to cut their hair. I don't know if this is something her daddy's been feeding, because her dad is a long hair lover. I'm just gonna say we could talk about men and their hair desires, but so she was just like, girls are not supposed to cut their hair. And she was like, what is she doing? I was like, she's just clipping your ends. It's going to make it grow longer. Like, I had to
it took me a long time to learn that too.
It's going to make it healthy. And she still had a lot of length, and like, she really only trimmed, because I know Linda, from going to the shop every 2 weeks, like, I've had that experience. I went to the Dominicans. I used to go there and get my hair, like,
they are the best with the blowouts.
And blowout. Well, my hair must have been really damaged this one time I went, and I came out here with a bob, and I was like, what the heck?
Oh, wow. A bob.
Like, you know, you were supposed to be trimming my ends. Like, I don't
Uh-huh.
understand. But so she left the length for Ryan, and she loved her hair blown out straight. Every time I see Shauna, when she gets her, how excited she is. When
I
she
love a blowout.
That's yes, you are
Ryan in
Ryan.
40 years. Let me tell
I
you,
love it. I love it. I mean, I love my waves. I love my, you know, I love and I think that's what I love about hairs is especially, you know,
versatile.
we can wear it so many different ways, right? You have the versatility and you can, whatever you feel this week, right, Maddie? Does that feel like for you? What's one of your favorite go-tos, Maddie?
What I'm wearing right now, like this.
Yes, I
Puffs.
love it like that.
Puffs.
So cute.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I said, I'm still a faithful salon goer, hairdresser. I was like, yeah, I plan my appointments even more so now. And Maddie's laughing at me,
Even
but
though I can do it,
I know
she
Maddie
won't.
says she can do it, but I don't know. I think I've been very fortunate over the years. I think it, you know, could be the foundation of my mom set that I'm not just looking to have my hair done, right?
It's
Or
the whole
get my
experience
hair done.
for
It's
you,
the
Linda.
experience
It's the
and it's
experience.
healthy hair. I've been going to my current stylist, Trends by Tanya, shout out to her, for
Hey.
16 years.
Wow.
And she has just done an awesome job of taking care of my hair. Even prior to her, I've always been fortunate. I've heard hair horror stories too, but I think I've been very selective. And that probably came up from the training and from what my mom instilled in my sister and I that, you know, good hair care is important. So that's the other piece of this too.
Yes.
Yeah, have hair and it's beautiful and all that, but is it being
Healthy.
taken care of? Is it healthy hair? So healthy hair, I mean, I've worn my hair in the 16 years I've been going to Tanya. I probably have had every hairstyle. I mean, right now I have twists going back because it's just so darn hot, right? But then I'm going to take it out. It's going to be some curly whatever it is. And then I've had different colors, different styles. I've had a
And let's talk about the head wraps you've been sporting lately.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so these head wraps have been my savings grace. I'm telling you.
Beautiful.
It is just, oh, Maddie says I'm pulling it off, but ooh, it has been hot. And as we know, with this being August, it's just like I went with a different style.
I love it. I love the heat. You all know I love the heat.
Yeah, so head wraps, head dresses, things to kind of complement your hair also, or you know, also with tools. And in the wintertime, mostly I wear my hair out because I feel like I'm a winter person, and the sun, the heat just does me in. So I'm just trying to like just stay cool. So they're different just styles. And I think that's what I've loved about hair, period. Just the versatility of it in general.
I have a question for Jeanette. Jeanette, when we first met, your hair was in a natural state, beautiful natural state, and you started your journey on locking. What made you go in that direction, and how in the world did you get it this long in 2 years? It's beyond me.
So I've been through so many different phases with my hair. So when growing up, my hair was really long. And I was always, you know, Jeanette with the long hair. And as I got older, I hated being identified by my hair. So I remember when I divorced, we talked about that on another segment, but when I divorced my first husband, I chopped my hair off. I didn't chop it super low, but then it started growing back, and, you know, it's in that awkward phase, and I was bored with it. So had this girl dye it like a blonde. She bleached out of my hair, and she ruined my hair, and it was just like shedding. So I just cut it off super short. And I've done that a few times. I've like cut my own hair off really short before my husband now, he walked into the bathroom after I had our second.
Oh yes.
And after I had Ryan,
I remember that story.
My hair grew really, I had this big old loose natural puff, and I was just like newborn baby. And he came in the bathroom, and it was just like a sink full of hair. And he just looked at me, and he just shook his head. And
no!
I told you he loves long hair, but he's like, "You're gonna do what you want to do anyway." So after I had my 5-year-old, I really was at like almost at that same point again because my hair had grew back, and I was trying to decide if I was gonna chop it off again. And I had been thinking about locks. My brother got locks first. So me and my brother,
mom. Really? Your brothers?
Oh,
okay. Oh, wow.
He got his locks first. And then, so matter of fact, me, my brother, my mom.
Your mom? This is
Your mom
great.
has locks too?
Yep. My
Oh,
sister-in-law and my brother's wife, and then now my nephew is thinking about getting them. And now my 5-year-old, which we'll talk about that later, she's locking her hair. So he got them first, and we kind of talked about it. And me, him, and my mom were going through like this spiritual transition in our life. My mom was a preacher's kid. We grew up Baptist, and we kind of like some of the things, our beliefs changed. And so it was more like a spiritual type journey for me when I decided to take that step and lock my hair. I knew I didn't want it to be like perfectly like that lettucey manicure, beautiful. Lettucey's hair is beautiful.
Oh yes, gorgeous.
Locks, I love that, but for me, I just wanted to be more like earthy, natural.
I love it.
Like, so I did it myself. I started my locks myself, and I've been maintaining them.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that you started it yourself. I knew that you maintained them.
No, yeah. I started them myself. And
Get
then,
out.
Man.
Wow.
And I've been maintaining them.
I wish I had guts like that.
I know. I can't braid for nothing.
I told you I'm not a salon person. So for the last 4 years, I've been maintaining my locks myself. I've been to a professional one time, and we were going on vacation. Our mom had came down to get her locks done by this lady that lives here in South Carolina. That's really good. Her locks are like super long. Like her husband, all her kids have locks, and she has a shop. That's what she specialized in. And so I just let her wash it and retwist it before we went on vacation. But that was like the first and only time, and I haven't been nowhere since then.
Oh, man.
But and I don't use like a lot of product and stuff on my hair. So for me, like I just love this journey. Like my goal for my locks, because people are like, well, how long are you gonna let them go? And I was like, there's this girl from Trinidad that I follow on Instagram, and her locks are like down to her calves, and I'm like, that's my goal right there.
Wow. Wow.
Speaking of like sitting on your hair, like So a lot of people don't know, like I have Trinidadian roots, Barbadian roots.
Yes.
And my mom is Black, but my dad, his family comes from Barbados and Trinidad. So in Guyana, they're we're just West Indian. Let's just say
exactly. That's that earthy part of you, that earthy part too.
Right.
So,
and I've gone through so many transitions in my life. Like I've been like the corporate, very put together, perfect. Like I used to dye my hair like blue black. My hair, this is my natural black.
Oh, I like that blue black.
So I used to dye my hair blue black. I used to be super straight. And I was like, super polished for corporate America. And I went through all these different transitions. And now at this stage in my life, I just feel like this is just more like who I am. And it's easy to maintain. And when you have 2 other little girls' heads to do, I don't have time for this.
That's why I love that Maddie's taking this into her own hands. So Maddie, what other styles do you do? What kind of products do you use? And do you like this natural world that you're in a little bit better than locking up? Do you feel like you have more options? Or
yes, I feel like I have more options. And product wise, we change up, even me and my mom, and even my brother too, because he's getting waves and he still uses my shampoo and my conditioner.
Oh yeah.
What kind do you use?
So right now we're using like Cantu and Kira Care, but
I love Cantu.
Almost like every 3 months we get like we wipe out our whole entire products and get a whole entire different brands. So probably next we're probably gonna get like Shea Moisture or something else or something.
Yeah, I love Shea Moisture as well. Those are my go-tos, and Cantu.
Shea Moisture, Cantu. Have you tried the Do products? They have them.
We just got those. Yeah, we just got
Divine, those. My oldest Sheila, she loves those products.
Okay.
She uses them a lot. And then the blueberry curls. It's it's like a blue. It's really
look that up.
Divine is natural.
Yeah,
well, it's beautiful hair.
That was a process. I remember when I was loose natural and she was in high school, I was trying to get her to wear her hair curly, and it's you kind of got to let your kids, like Linda has done with Matt, you got to let your kids express themselves how they feel most comfortable. And while natural hair and all the different styles that there are out there is more acceptable now, it wasn't always like that. I can remember a cousin of mine who's been natural before natural was a thing, and we used to tease her like she need to do something with her head. And as I got older and realized like, oh, I had to eat those words. Like, oh, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like I just love the fact that kids are just diverse. They're themselves. They're
Yes.
experimenting, trying different things. And Navon did not like big hair, but if you go to her Instagram now,
Yes, her hair is
girl
gorgeous.
loves her curls. She probably only straightens her hair once every 12 months. But yeah, she is a curly girl, and people are always asking her like, I wish she was on here. What products are you using? What are you doing? And so yeah, so she has definitely fully embraced her.
So I have a son, and he's 31. And growing up, he always wanted hair. He had beautiful hair. He was born. You could put his hair in a ponytail when he was born. So I had a lot of heartburn when he was born. You could put his hair in a ponytail, and his hair texture was very beautiful, very gorgeous. As he got older, we cut it to where he had like, it was low at the top, low curls at the top, but I kept the tail. He had the tail from birth, almost age 7 or maybe 9 years old is when he decided he wanted to get the tail cut off, but it was from birth.
Question, Shauna. So I know a lot of Latino men that have the tail or sport. I remember like growing up, I've seen that more in the Latino community. Is that like a cultural thing, do you think, or?
I'm not sure if it's a cultural thing more than it was just a style within the culture. So I'm not sure if I would like identify it as something that that they do. But it's a very attractive looking way to add to the men's men's styling. And so I adapted that, because of that. And I wanted to save a piece of his, how you cut your baby's hair. And so I wanted him to have something, and it was very long, like down his back long, very beautiful. And we kept it all across here. And then this part was low. And then he got to a point where he wanted to cut it off, and then he wanted to grow it out. Now I was not a very open parent when it came to him wanting to grow it. And I'll tell you why, because he was in his preteen age. And he wanted to start off with an afro. And I'm like, all right, cool. As long as you maintain it. And see, that's what he did not want to do. He wanted to wake up, fro be dented here, there, and we're going somewhere. And it's like, you need to pick your hair out. You need to, get it, decent. We're going in public, and of course today, like they're cutting the fros like that, and they're shaping, that's the style now. But back then it wasn't. It looked untamed and unruly, and I'm like, no, we're not having that. So he would be upset, and I would get him shaved off to back down to your brush waves until you are ready to take care of your hair. Because I had a boy, I didn't have a girl. I don't have to do your hair. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. So if you go grow your hair, you go take care of it. That was the only thing that he had to do. So by the time he got to his older teens, he started getting with the program and started maintaining it, taking care of it. And when he left out on his own, he became a vegetarian, and at the same time he decided to lock his hair. It kind of goes hand in hand. When you want your natural hair, you want natural foods in your bodies, you want natural skin cares, and it kind of just flows like that. And so his locks, I would say, all the men that I've seen in the world, my son's locks are the most gorgeous locks I have ever seen. The texture, even when it needs to be retwisted, it looks so good, so he takes excellent care of it. Very handsome young man, very beautiful inner self. He's very beautiful. His spirit is just he's just a very beautiful human being. I'm just so proud of him. So yeah, he's our first one in my intermediate family that has locked up. My sister has spoken about it quite a bit, but she hasn't. And then my niece Jaji just started her journey. She just completed her year, and it's amazing. And I thought about it, but I think I'm like Ryan. I like my blowouts. I like my curls. I like to go back and forth. And I don't know if I could, I feel like you're kind of fixed. In my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm fixed. I'm stuck if I was to lock up. But I admire it. And I think it's a sense of freedom and beauty that comes along with it, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. And so I want to kind of talk about that, and I'm gonna maybe bring Maddie into this. So I know we talked about the boys now. Like, I know my husband struggles because he grew up in the Caesar cut waves, those dudes like that lineup had to be perfect. And now the boys are like just messy froze.
Mm-hmm.
My sons have had locks. They both of them have like longer hair. Now he cut his locks off, but he grew it out and he kind of just wears it messy. They're doing like twist outs now, and it's just
Yes.
kind of like it's a lot more accepting. And I do recall, like, you know, like people you used to get made fun of for things like that. Maddie, like in school prior to quarantine, how are the kids? Are they accepting of like natural hair now? Do you feel like it's less kids being teased for wearing their natural hair? What's your
Yes, I
experience?
definitely feel like that because almost every girl has natural hair, unless
Wow, this
yeah,
is
almost, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. It
what a
speaks to the
change, what a
times.
shift.
Yeah, look at that. I
That's
know.
education.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about the boys, Maddie, as far as the boys at the school?
I don't really, I just
She doesn't look at
Look
boys,
at
Linda.
that was a trick
That
question.
was a
That
trick.
was, and she saw it coming. She saw it coming.
Curve that real
That
quick.
was like, skirt. This lady not about
Good
to get
job,
this
Maddie. Good job, Maddie.
I gotta give you a high five on that.
But do you feel confident, like, you know, wearing your hair in whatever style you want to?
yes.
That's really good. Have you feel like have you ever inspired any of like your friends to maybe go natural that were kind of hesitant, or have you noticed other people in your circle that are more into it now?
Well, in a little way, I kind of inspired. Nobody ever really said it, but I know, and
No.
my best friend
That's
knows.
my girl, Maddie. She
I
knows.
because I okay. So at one point, I was doing this style where you had like rubber bands at the front, like you did like a rubber band style here, and then you have a ponytail or whatever, and you do the back out or whatever. But then that's when like the more, I guess, popular people in my school started doing it, and I was just like, oh,
I did that like 3 weeks ago.
now that they're gonna do it. Like one of my friends, she was kind of like popular or something. I don't really know, but she did it, and then like even more people started doing it, but I was the first one to actually do it. So
And I think
Trailblazer. That's
yeah,
why.
I think that's really important to like just be yourself, because you just never know who you might inspire. Like oh my God, I remember girls used to make fun of me. Like used to wear my hair slicked back in a ponytail, super tight. Like it was, that ponytail was not coming out. I wouldn't wear it out a lot because humidity, and back then we didn't really know what to use to kind of tame it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being a cheerleader on the bus, and the little football player boys like spitting spitballs at my hair. Just
What?
all kinds of like things. I was just like, when I tell you I hated it, my dad was like, you can't cut your hair. And I remember, and Linda, you gonna remember these styles. I remember cutting the front short and the back was long.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I did one side like that.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And my mom was like, your dad is gonna have a fit. And they say this all the time. I just was like, nah, he'll get over it. His hair to go. Because my thing is like, I done it now. You're gonna yell at me. I'm gonna get punished. But then you'll get over it, and my hair still be cut. So what you gonna do? So my 5-year-old has locks now. Like she started her locks, and she hates, her hair is like down to her butt too. She hates her hair comb. Like if you say I'm about to, wash and comb your hair, she immediately takes off running. She cries the whole time. She cries when you wash it, when you comb it, style it. Like when I say she hates everything about getting her hair done. And I mentioned to her, I was like, well, do you want to lock your hair like mommy? And she was like, I won't have to comb it. I was like, no, but you still have to get it washed and like retwisted, but you don't have to like comb it out. And she was like, yeah, I want to do that. And so this was when she was like 4. And then so my husband was like, no, because she might change her mind. And then when she turned 5, we were still kind of thinking about it. And so then she started saying it more. I stopped saying it because I didn't want him to think I was putting it in her head.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, oh, that's too young. What if she changes her mind?
She knows what she wants.
I'm like, if she changes her mind.
It's from the child whisperer.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't doubt your children. Don't doubt your children. All the way to a 3-year-old knows exactly what they want.
And the 7-year-old was so funny. Ryan said, Mom, can you please lock Sydney's hair so I can be the only one that has to get my hair combed?
Jeanette, didn't Sydney start her lock journey maybe 3 months ago or 4 months ago?
Yeah, probably right at the start of quarantine.
Okay.
She hopped on one of the Marco Polos, and she was behind her mom on the shoulder, over her shoulders, and she's like, "Look at my hair, look at my hair." It was getting there, and then I remember her saying, "Just call me little mommy. Just call
Yes,
me
I
little
remember
mommy." And
that.
I thought it was the cutest thing, you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, she wants her hair like her mom, and but she
Yeah.
internalizes that's what it means for her. Her inner beauty, she internalizes it in that style.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
that's one thing I don't want to put is on my kids is that it has to be, I know we talked about that because that was kind of like how it was for us growing up, that it has to be super polished to be
Yeah.
beautiful. And I just feel like, you know, there's a time and place for certain things, but like that's my Wild Woman. If you have you ever seen the Wild Thornberry cartoon?
Yeah.
This little wild guy, his hair is all. That's why I call her Wild Thornberry. But like she loves it wild. I even like my hair when it gets to a point where it needs to be retwisted more than I like it like super polished.
Mhm.
But I just feel like, you know, I don't want her to ever think that she's not beautiful because her hair is a little fuzzy at the top. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
you're beautiful regardless.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, like telling my kids that they're beautiful more than just when like, oh, you just get your hair combed and it's done
Yes.
perfectly. I'm like, oh, you look so pretty. I tell them all the time when they're dirty, filthy dirty, when, you know, whatever, because I want them to not associate beauty with just everything being perfectly in place and
Yes.
polished. And so like that's really important.
I know we've spoken a lot about natural hair. Um, I went through the stage of where to grow my hair back out, one of my aunts started perming it.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with perms. There's nothing wrong with being bald. There's nothing wrong with braids. There's nothing wrong with tracks. There's nothing wrong with any of that. I
Yeah.
feel like it's whatever like speaks to you. For
Mhm.
myself, and for going back to what Linda was talking about, like healthy hair,
Mm.
I had to get away from the relaxing because it was eating my hair up all the way around. I was
Yeah.
starting to lose edges after a few years of this. And so I had to figure out a way. So before YouTube natural hair videos was out, I let go of the relaxer, and I literally had to interview my aunties on how to take care of my hair because I threw myself into this natural world. I got my relaxer clipped out. It took about a year and clipped it all out. And then I was like, okay, now what? At the time, I had a home business. Thank goodness I had a home childcare business. And I spoke to my husband and I said, listen, I need to try this. I need to see if this will really work for me because I cannot get my hair to grow with the relaxer. So with the relaxer, it would grow to my shoulders. And then 30 days later, it would eat it away to my ear. And it would this would be the
Yes.
back and forth. And I couldn't grow hair from ear to ear. So I used to have the back shave like Holly Berry, which was cute. I sported that hairstyle, which let me know that if I had to go bald, I believe I would just be so beautiful if I went bald. Because how short my hair was, it had the little tiny curls at the top. I would do a little mohawk in the middle. It was just cute as a button. But it wasn't what I really wanted. It was what I had to accept because my hair wouldn't go the way that I envisioned it, I knew that it can go. So when I let go, it's just many years now. Many years. I don't know, maybe 20 years now. I haven't had a relaxer. And so my hair goals, I don't know what your hair goals are, ladies. I'd love to hear Maddie's, but my hair goal is I want my hair waist length, you know, a nice blowout or my curly, crazy hair, waist length. That's my hair goal. Like I would be like my ultimate happiest, when it gets there. So yeah. Maddie, what's your hair goals?
Well, this is not like not long term, but like in the next like couple years or so, maybe like past my shoulder in this natural state.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice, Maddie.
Because shrinkage is real. Tell him, Maddie. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like my hair is so long, and then it dries up, and it's like, what happened to my hair?
Yeah. It's part of our
Yes.
hair culture and heritage.
It is.
Yeah, you'll definitely get there. What about you, Linda?
Yeah, so I still have relaxed hair. I do. So, during quarantine, it was a little bit of a struggle, but I will say I managed. And over the years, like I mentioned, 16 years with my current stylist, I mean, she's taken excellent care of my hair. I've never had an issue with like perms or touch-ups or anything.
Nice.
I've never had an issue.
Wow.
I did, though, however, start eating better probably the last 3 or 4 years. And from 2016 to now, my hair has grown so much. So that was another thing, feeding my body good food.
Water.
And she even noticed that. Yep, water too, Shauna. And she said, wow, your hair is long. I went and got it done for the first time a couple weeks ago after, everything opened back up. And, she said, your hair is doing good. She said, wow, your hair is still growing. I mean, for the last year and a half, I've noticed a change in my hair as far as length goes. I wasn't too caught up in the length of it. Mine is more about the healthy hair aspect of it. So if it grows long, it grows long, but it is getting down to like almost the middle of my back now.
Wow.
And I'm even shocked.
When are we going to see that?
No, probably tomorrow. I'm gonna take it out tomorrow and wear it kind of like curly.
Nice.
Maddie wants to do it for me. She wants to take it out because I have it twisted right now. So I rarely wear blowouts. It's so interesting to me, the blow dryer. I'm so sensitive, and you should see me sitting in the chair when she tries to blow dry my hair. My shoulders are up to my ears. I don't. It's weird. So I wear my hair. I'm like
a roller set type.
Roller set. So I'm under the dryer like an hour and 20 minutes.
And see, that's the thing I can't do. That dryer life, I had to let that go.
The dryer life.
I do not like that at all. I couldn't stand it. I was the girl. Is it dry yet? Is it dry yet? Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet?
I will sit under there, honey. I have my book, my earphones, my phone. I'm scrolling and texting y'all, up, talking to friends, listening to music. But for me, it's healthy hair, and if wherever it grows, it grows. I mean, I just know. I still love that experience. I just love the salon experience. I don't know. It's just sort of.
And I think that's the most important piece of it that you mentioned is healthy hair, taking care of your body inside, and people don't realize how that affects your hair growth,
hair and your nails.
Stress affects your hair growth, and as a woman and a mother, like our hormone changes, how that affects it. And that was one of the reasons I big chopped my hair after I had Ryan, was because it was shedding so much after I had her with all the hormone changes. I was just tired. I was over it. But I feel like it's important, like you said, we talked about natural hair a lot, but I feel like it's important that we say that, like if you like weaves, wigs, braids, faux locks, like whatever you like to do, you have to do what makes you feel comfortable. You have to do what, and I would tell them, people always ask me, like, oh, I would love to get locks. And I'm like, it's a commitment. It really is. Now you can comb out your locks. However, it will take, like, I know I watched girls' videos. One girl, she did hers wasn't as long as mine, but she did hers in like 3 days. So she started recording on like a
What do you mean comb out your locks?
Like take it from here and just
you can take it from the root. And you use a lot of conditioner and a rat tail comb, and you literally like pick it out.
Like when you're taking out a braid?
Yeah, but it literally could take you, depending on how long your locks are, it could probably take you.
So why would you do that? To get a different style or a different texture, or you want to be done with it?
People who want to get rid of their locks but don't want to cut their hair.
I thought you always had to cut them out.
You can comb them out, but it's a long process and it is very tedious. I've watched some girls do it. This girl did hers from like a Friday to like a Sunday evening. Wow. Like she like sped up the video and stuff too, and she combed her out. There was another girl who started combing hers out, and then she
I never heard of that.
Cutting them shorter and then comb them out because it take less time. Yeah. But you have so many different styles of locks. Like sister locks are super tiny. So
may I ask you? So when you're combing it out now, what's the natural goal to go back to like how Maddie and I wear our hair?
Loose natural, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. They just don't want it to be locked anymore. They want to have loose natural hair. Again.
I thought you had to cut it out. That's the school of thought I always grew up with.
Depending on how you did it, now there's but yeah, you can really comb out almost any locks, even the ones that are free form. They have the big tree trunks.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like you have to be comfortable with it, and like so, a lot of people who want locks are not ready for the different stages of it. I personally like the messy, starter locks. Like, I know a girl, I don't know her personally, but I used to follow on YouTube, and she locked her hair, but she didn't want the beginner, what she kept calling the ugly phase. And people drug her for that because she went and got her hair. There's a process where you can lock it quicker, and then you can get lock extensions put on it to make it look like they're mature. And people were like, and then she kept saying, oh, she was freeforming. They was like, no, you're not. Like, you had them locked quick. You did the quick lock process, and you got faux locks. Mm-hmm. I think they drug her so bad that she took them out, and then she started over. Oh, she's recently combed her locks out, but she's like back to loose natural again. But you have to be ready for it. Like, whatever the maintenance is, you have to take care of your hair. Even if you get weaves, you have to protect your hair. That's what people don't understand. Like, you do stuff to it.
Right. Jeanette and Linda, the healthy part you said, protecting your hair. You have to know what your hair can endure.
Right.
So I love when you said blonde hair, I was all like, so
ate my hair.
My favorite dye, if I ever could dye my hair, would be blonde, y'all. It would be blonde. Let me tell you something. Shauna's hair don't like dye. Doesn't matter what color it is. I learned that early on as a young person. Hair today, gone tomorrow. That happened to me 3 times fooling around with dye when I was young. I was like, nope, this is not my route. This is not my path. I started graying when I was 25. So I had gray hair underneath, but no one could see it on the outside. I had that jet black hair that people used to go and buy a dye for. You know, my hair was jet black. It's lightened over the years. Now, when you see my blowouts, you can see my grays a lot better, the different streaks in different areas. And I love every single one of my gray hairs. I love how rude they are. I love how they want to do their own thing when we want them to do a certain, I think knowing what your capabilities are with your hair is also another way to help you find out what your hair journey can look and feel like, because you need to go with the flow of your hair too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
go ahead, Maddie.
Okay.
I was touching her hair.
Well, for me, in like that hair dye, like sometimes like, oh, I do see like YouTubers like, oh, it's like super cool, like they have these different color hairs, but like going to like blondish type of hair, I don't have the darkest hair in like the universe. I have really light hair, and in the summer my ends get blonde, so there's no like, especially the front of my hair, more so the back. My last year when I went back to school, everybody thought I dyed my hair for some reason because it was so
the sun
naturally.
I never really needed to like, I never felt like I needed to like dye it blonde. And if I really wanted to look like have that look, then I would just wait till the summer and make sure I was out in the sun a lot.
So smart. You're so smart.
And yeah, so that wasn't like that. I really liked that look because like it was so it was just so kind of almost like really unique. And plus,
I could tell how light it is now, Maddie, and I can imagine if you were outside, how much brighter it would look.
And like in the winter, it does get darker, but it's still not as dark as some of my like friends' hair. Because my natural color is still not even dark brown. It's like almost like a light ashy brown color. So, and it's just really kind of cool to see like that almost blondish color mixed in with that, since it's already so light.
Yeah, her hair was really blonde last summer. We spent a lot of time outside, and we went to Florida for the graduation. My son's graduating from high school, plus her birthday, kind of did a combined trip. And yeah, someone asked me, did you color her hair? I was like, no, the son did it. Yeah. Because I think I posted a picture of Maddie, and like somebody messaged me, it's like, did you dye her hair? No. The son, no, I didn't dye her hair. I've had my hair blonde too. Tanya has done like copper blonde on me. She's done blonde. I've had it dark. Right now, it's just a brown. I mean, I've had highlights, lowlights.
You dye your hair now, Linda?
No, I get the roots colored a little bit because I have a little bit of gray.
Gray, okay.
So I get the roots colored a little bit, and it's just the same color as my hair. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that either,
Mm-hmm.
ladies and gentlemen, with the gray hair deal, because
Yeah.
my sister and I kind of go back and forth with that. My sister
Okay.
loves to dye her hair,
Yeah.
and she doesn't particularly like the way her gray is coming in. And I understand when women, feel that way, that they want to wait till it gets to a certain
Yeah.
point. So my grandmother, though, she dyed her hair all the way, like most of
Mm-hmm.
her whole entire life. My
Okay.
Hispanic grandmother, that was
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah.
I can't wait for my hair to go gray. I have I'm 40 and I feel like I should have some grays by now, but this hair is just like, no, we just gonna stay black and that's what we're gonna do.
There you
But
go.
like I'm one of those people that will just go gray and let it be gray. I can't wait for that stage.
Wow, that's cool. I love this conversation. Oh my
Yes, I could
goodness.
talk about hair all day.
Maddie, you want to say something else?
And like when sometimes I remember when me and my mom just went to the beauty supply store to get, because I was getting box braids. It's so hard to find like a color for me because my hair is so light. But there is a color that's kind of close, but you could still see that it was not matching my hair, and we had to go to the lady who owned the store to like make sure it actually kind of matched. And it's just like so crazy.
I don't understand.
And you guys can like kind of see, compared to that my mom's like little black thingy, my hair is like a really ashy color compared to that. So it's just
Yes. And speaking to that, you've having a hard time finding your color, and we didn't speak about this. I know in our culture, your hair is viewed as like a really glorifying piece to a woman's or young person. Growing up, we were always taught that it was like your crown and glory, and I think that it doesn't matter how it looks, what it looks like, as long as it represents who you are and how you feel. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
One of my pet peeves is the good hair, bad hair conversation.
Oh my goodness.
No such thing. No such thing.
Yeah. Even I locked my hair. It was, you got good hair. What you locking your hair for? Like when I tell you that makes my skin crawl.
Same here.
Just like there's no such thing as good hair and bad hair.
And I grew up being told I had bad hair. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the key.
It can be unhealthy hair. There can be damaged hair, and there can be healthy hair. Because Linda is a testament of you can have relaxed, healthy hair. You just have to do it the right way. Stay out of them box perms in the stores. If you insist on being relaxed, get you a professional that can take care of your hair, that can condition it, that can, you know what I mean?
It's like going to a doctor.
I'm huge on that. Just for the last 16 plus years, I'm huge on healthy hair, and you just don't want to have anybody in your hair. It's like trying to tell a stylist that, oh, I'm a IT computer person, but I'm not going to sit here and try to like mix up some perms and try to do my own hair.
Exactly.
Tell her how to run the hair. I'm like, look, when I go to her, I trust her. I sit down in that chair, and I know I'm in good hands. And I think that is something that I will say that from now until.
I agree. I mean, you want to make sure that anything that you do, or who you work with, energy is we speak about energy all the time. So the energy of that person, the stages that they are in their lives, all of that stuff affects, someone working in your hair,
Yeah, definitely. So what's one call to action, Shauna, for our listeners? What
healthy hair tips.
I think the theme.
Mine is going to be sort of like a question.
Okay.
So mine would be, I think the first step is to find out, what does inner beauty mean to you? And I think, once you really soul search yourself and figure it out, then you can express yourself in your hair expressions. And it can be different. You can rock blue hair this week, pink hair next week. I'm in fact thinking about getting those clip-in dye colors. I said, well, I can't dye my hair, but maybe I can clip in a piece if I wanted to.
I just seen this on Instagram. I have to send it to you. It's this, they was using it on kids' hair. It's a color. You can color your hair different colors, and it washes out in one wash. It's not damaging, non-chemical. I send it to you, Maddie.
Look at Maddie. And look at Linda.
I got quiet. I was like,
black-owned product too. Black made product.
Okay.
But yeah, so you could do something like that, Shauna.
Yeah,
Ooh,
do that. So yeah, I think that's the first question is what does inner beauty really mean to you? And then you can go from there.
cool. I love the title of this episode, Beauty Hair Talk. Notice that we had beauty first. And I think that
Yes.
definitely, Shauna, thank you for that idea.
Yes.
One call to action for me, again, I think I've said it a few times, healthy hair goals. Healthy hair goals, no matter what state your hair is in, that should be a goal. And that beauty, again, is within you. But if we're talking about hair, healthy hair goals. So what about you, Jeanette?
For me, it's kind of like, ringing in with what you two ladies were saying. I just feel like you have to really know yourself and be okay and comfortable in your skin and being who you want to be. And as mothers, and parents, I feel like it's important that we allow our children to also express themselves however they want, versus trying to make them into like this perfect little baby doll,
Yeah.
whether it's a boy or a girl. If that's how they want to wear their hair, let them, especially while they're young. Like that's the time to explore.
That's the time to explore.
Yes, it is.
It's the time to explore. So, but I feel like whatever you've been wanting to do your research, and just understand why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing it because it's trendy, which that's okay too, or are you doing it for a more deeper spiritual reason? And just owning like that full process of what that entails, because just because you have relaxed hair doesn't mean it's easier, and just because you have natural loose hair does not mean it's easier either.
Right. Yep.
So I think really knowing yourself and knowing your reasoning behind why you want to do certain things with your hair and your body, and just keep it healthy.
There you go.
Maddie, what kind of tips do you have for some?
Well, I said kind of what Miss Jeanette said. Like if you're, especially like if you're younger, you could do it when you're older too. It doesn't really matter. But especially like while you're younger, go ahead and like if you can like experiment with your hair. Like if you want to do some type of style that's like permanent, like locks or something, then do it. If you want to get rid of it, like I did, just cut it off. Or if you want to cut your hair in general, or even if you want to dye it, so if you just want to dye it, and dyes can be like pretty cool and stuff, and that's like a really cool way to experiment with your hair.
And Maddie, would you say that they would need to maybe touch bases with their parents, and then if they can't, maybe write a letter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to ask your parents first if you can.
Yeah. Just research it and let them know that you understand what that commitment is, because let me tell you, because my daughter had some hairstyles that she wanted, and I'm like, I'm not going to be braiding your hair every week. You're going to learn how to do this yourself. So that's just important, learning how to do some of the things yourself. But yeah.
Yes, because you don't want to be 50 years old and don't know how to braid. I'm just saying.
Oh, goodness.
It's okay.
It's okay. We got you.
Still have time to learn.
Yeah,
still have time to learn, and you can pay someone. There are people.
There you go. There it is. Well, great. This was great, ladies.
Yes.
Marks. Shauna, you want to cover how folks can find us, find this episode and our other episodes?
Yes. Well, we got another episode, ladies. Wow. Yes. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at The Heart of Chat. We are here every Monday. We call it Meatful Mondays because we want to give you a lot of meat and potatoes before your week comes in. Make sure you are subscribed to our mailing list, because every Monday at 7 a.m. it will drop to your mailbox, and you'll be able to get the dibs on what's happening with The Heart of Chat. And don't forget to purchase your mug over on our website. The Heart of Chat mugs are out. We have more merchandises that will be coming out soon, so stay tuned to all of those things. And ladies and gentlemen, please come back. Please come back another week, because it's going to be fuego, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Maddie.
Thanks, Maddie.
All right, ladies.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.